Hello everyone and welcome to my Y&R Insider 24 update channel. Harrison's world could be turned upside down by Tara Locke's return. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers show that think it's time to bring back Harrison Abbott's, Reading Munsell, mom back into his life. Who is even raising this kid? Continue reading to discover the numerous benefits of bringing back Tara Locke, Elizabeth Liner. Kyle is a kid who needs a mom. First, some background information. Tara brought their son, Harrison, and the monstrous Ashland Locke to GC. To make a long story short, Tara, a socialite, had a one-night stand with Kyle in New York City. She eventually revealed to Kyle that Harrison was her son. Despite the fact that Harrison has never had a stable mother, Kyle jumped headfirst into parenthood. After Tara was imprisoned for embezzling money, Summer Newman, played by Allison Lanny, became Kyle's mother, and later, his current girlfriend, Claire Newman, played by Haley Erin, took over the role. Challenges for Claire, but neither woman is around right now for Harrison, and now Kyle spends all of his time begging Claire to take him back. Which is a problem. Therefore, why would they require Tara as an additional issue? Simple. So that Kyle and Claire can reunite and compete for Harrison's custody. Claire's custody battle having Tara back would irritate Claire, who views herself as Harrison's substitute mother, and the green-eyed devil might also return. Given that Tara is Kyle's ex-girlfriend and Harrison's mother, it stands to reason that her presence would put Claire in jeopardy. However, we anticipate that Claire would side with Kyle in a custody dispute if Tara attempted to coax Harrison away. They would also be spending a lot of time together again in that scenario. Plus, Kyle might be a better custodial parent candidate if he is married to Claire. See where this is going? For good reason, fans of The Young and the Restless, Y&R, have speculated for a long time about the possibility of Tara Locke, Elizabeth Liner, returning to Genoa City. The adults involved in the past drama, as well as Harrison Abbott, Reading Munsell, the innocent boy who has been at the center of so much chaos since his introduction, have enormous storyline potential. With Tara gone and Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, struggling to hold his life together after his messy breakup with Claire Newman, Haley Erin, this could be the perfect time for the show to reintroduce Tara and unleash a new round of emotional turmoil that could rock the Abbott family to its core. Harrison's upbringing has been largely overlooked for far too long. The adults in his life are pursuing love, power, and vengeance, and the most famous toddler in Genoa City has been moved from one caregiver to another. In reality, Tara's return could add depth, stakes, and long overdue accountability to the entire Abbott storyline. Tara's absence has been a convenient way to keep the focus on Kyle's romantic ups and downs. After all, who is the real parent of this child? And what happens when his biological mother decides she wants her son back? The mother he lost, and the son she left behind. Tara Locke's entrance into Genoa City was explosive. She arrived hand in hand with her powerful and manipulative husband, Ashland Locke, Richard Burgee Robert Newman, dragging behind a secret that would shatter multiple lives. She had a one-night stand with Kyle Abbott in New York City years earlier. That brief liaison produced a child, Harrison. Summer Newman, who was then Hunter King and is now Allison Lanny, was pulled into the whirlwind when the truth was revealed, giving Jack Abbott, played by Peter Bergman, an unexpected grandson. But beneath the surface, Tara's life was far from glamorous. Her marriage to Ashland was toxic, and she quickly went from being a socialite to being a pariah after the embezzlement scandal broke. Her downfall was swift, and her departure left behind a void not just in Harrison's life, but in Kyle's emotional world. Since then, the little boy has been raised in the warm embrace of the Abbott mansion, a symbol of stability amid chaos. Yet even there, Harrison has lacked something vital: his mother. The devoted father, Kyle Abbott. To Kyle's credit, he stepped up as a devoted father. When he first learned about Harrison, he embraced fatherhood without hesitation, throwing himself into the role despite his inexperience. But Kyle is far from perfect. He has struggled to provide Harrison with the stability he needs due to his pattern of rash decisions and romantic entanglements. For a time, Kyle and Summer were the epitome of modern parenthood, juggling careers and co-parenting responsibilities. Their relationship was based on love and shared responsibility. But when Summer left, and Tara went to prison, the fragile balance collapsed. Harrison was caught in the middle again, learning too early that even grown-ups can break promises. More recently, Kyle's romance with Claire Newman gave Harrison another potential mother figure. The absence of a mother was filled by Claire's natural warmth and calm demeanor, and viewers witnessed glimpses of a novel family dynamic based on healing, forgiveness, and patience. Yet just as Kyle began to find happiness again, that relationship crumbled too, leaving him alone with his guilt, confusion, and an energetic little boy asking questions no father wants to answer. Where's mommy? The Claire complication. It is impossible to ignore Claire Newman's role in this story. She entered Kyle's life at a time when he was vulnerable, still licking his wounds from Summer's departure and struggling to keep his career on track at Jabot. Claire brought stability, compassion, and a sense of renewal that Kyle desperately needed. She also bonded with Harrison in a natural, loving way that made her an instant fan favorite. The Abbotts seemed to have found their new family for a while. But, as always in Genoa City, peace doesn't last long. The cracks began to show when Kyle's jealousy and insecurity got the best of him. His deep-seated distrust issues, his complicated relationship with Summer, and his need for control split Claire apart. When their romance imploded, it left not only two broken hearts but also a confused little boy who had just lost another mom. Claire's absence has left a vacuum, one that's beginning to show in Kyle's parenting. He's more distracted, more reactive, and less emotionally available. He's also been spending much of his time begging Claire to reconsider, trying to convince her that they can rebuild what they once had. He can't see what's going on around him because he's so desperate, including the quiet longing and confusion growing in Harrison's eyes. Enter Tara Locke, the ultimate wild card. Now, imagine the bombshell if Tara were to return. A woman like Tara doesn't just reappear without a reason, and whatever her motivation, it's bound to be dramatic. Maybe she's served her time, rehabilitated, and determined to reclaim her son. Maybe she's still manipulative, seeking to use Harrison as leverage to climb her way back into Genoa City society. Or perhaps she's genuinely remorseful and wants to make peace with the Abbotts. No matter her angle, Tara's reemergence would send shockwaves through every corner of the Abbott family. Kyle would have to choose between his unresolved feelings for the woman who had betrayed him and his protective instincts. Jack would make an effort to maintain order while safeguarding his grandson from emotional harm. And most of all, Claire Newman would find herself thrust into a battle she never saw coming, a battle not just for Kyle's love, but for her place in Harrison's life. Tara's return could also ignite tensions within the broader Genoa City community. There is no doubt that Summer Newman and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, would have strong opinions regarding Tara's intentions. Phyllis, ever the fierce protector of her family, might even team up with Summer to keep Tara away from Harrison. Meanwhile, Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, Kyle's mother, would certainly have something to say about another woman influencing her grandson's upbringing. The potential for family feuds, emotional confrontations, and courtroom showdowns is sky high. Custody chaos, and the birth of Claire 2.0. The possibility of a custody story, on the other hand, is the most compelling justification for bringing Tara back. If Tara decides she wants Harrison back, a legal battle could erupt, one that forces Kyle to confront his own failings as a parent and partner. Such a fight could easily draw Claire back into his orbit, as she'd naturally want to defend the child she's come to love. Viewers could see Kyle and Claire set aside their romantic baggage to work together in defense of Harrison's well-being. As they strategize, share emotional moments, and face the courtroom stress together, old feelings could reignite. It's possible that the two will rekindle the bond that once made them such an effective team, not just as lovers but also as co-parents in spirit. In fact, Tara's attempt to reclaim Harrison could become the very thing that reunites Claire. Kyle might even realize that the best way to present a stable, united front in court would be to marry Claire. Whether out of love, strategy, or both, that twist would electrify Y&R fans. Imagine the build-up to the wedding, with Jack's cautious optimism, Diane's quiet contentment, Tara's rage, and Harrison's happiness at seeing his favorite people again together. Of course, this is Genoa City, so even a happy ending would be laced with secrets waiting to explode. Harrison, the heart of the story. It's easy to forget that Harrison is the story's emotional anchor amid all the adult plotting and heartbreak. His innocence is what gives the chaos meaning. A young boy who just wants love and stability is ultimately impacted by every decision Kyle makes, every rivalry between women, and every legal maneuver. If Tara returns, Harrison's emotional journey could become one of Y&R's most poignant storylines. The writers could explore how a young child processes loyalty and belonging when his family keeps changing. Imagine scenes of Harrison caught between his biological mother and the woman he now calls mom, unsure who to trust. Such moments would give the show rare emotional depth and open doors for more meaningful conversations about family, forgiveness, and identity. A significant arc of Tara's character's redemption could also result from her return. Viewers might initially doubt her sincerity, but if she truly works to rebuild her relationship with Harrison, her growth could be one of the most satisfying turnarounds on the show. It would also force everyone to grow, which is something Y&R does best when it leans into complex emotional storytelling. It would also force Kyle and Claire to confront their own flaws and insecurities. The Abbott legacy at stake. The Abbotts have always represented family legacy on The Young and the Restless. Jack Abbott's decades-long journey has revolved around protecting that legacy, even when his own family members make it nearly impossible. That legacy would be put to new test if Tara were brought back. Jack, ever the peacemaker, would likely try to mediate between Tara and Kyle, reminding them that Harrison's needs come first. However, even he is limited. If Tara's motives are questionable, Jack might draw a line in the sand, setting up a generational battle that pits father against son not out of malice, but out of love for a child. Diane, never one to back down, would throw herself into the fray too, perhaps even reigniting her old rivalry with Phyllis or forming an uneasy alliance with Claire. In short, Tara's return wouldn't just be about one boy. It would ripple through every Abbott storyline, intertwining with business, love, and betrayal, all the ingredients that make Y&R thrive. Why it's time for Tara to come back. Emotional stakes determine the viability of soap operas. Kyle's story currently seems to have no direction. His love life is in tatters, his career has lost focus, and his fatherhood storyline has gone stale. His arc would immediately be infused with tension, heartbreak, and purpose if Tara were to return. It would also give viewers something they've been missing, a genuine sense of unpredictability. Would Tara return as a villain or a victim? Would Kyle's lingering guilt resurface? Would Claire stand by her man, or would jealousy push her away? Would Harrison's loyalty be torn in two? These are questions that could fuel months of must-watch drama, the kind of long-form storytelling that keeps fans talking for years. Elizabeth Liner's Tara Locke was never given the chance to fully develop as a character before she was written off. A comeback could allow her to evolve, showing both the consequences of her actions and the resilience of a woman determined to rebuild her life. It could also help Y&R refocus on one of its strongest themes, the complexity of family ties, where love and betrayal are often two sides of the same coin. Wifey worries, unfinished business, and questioning an ex. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, October 7th, hint at some explosive moments in Genoa City. A character questions their ex, two rivals have some unfinished business, and a wife is worried. What's on the horizon for Tuesday's show? It is time to find out. Be sure to check out the spoilers for this week's Y&R here. Nikki Newman vs. Jill Abbott. According to The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, October 7th, rivals Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, and Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, will clash as they attempt to resolve some unresolved issues. Nikki and Jill have rarely been on the same page, but their love and admiration for Catherine Chancellor, Jean Cooper, is one thing that both women can agree on. Will this confrontation be ugly, or can they reach an agreement? Fans may anticipate a truce between the two women, but only time will tell. Read this, The Young and the Restless spoilers. Kyle finds Claire and Holden in the bed. LA mission brings horror and heartache? Tessa Porter worries. In the episode that airs on October 7th, Tessa Porter, played by Kate Fairbanks, will be concerned about Mariah Copeland's, Cameron Grimes, safety in addition to everything else she has been concerned about. This doesn't sound good. It will be upsetting for Tessa to tell Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, what she and Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziardi, learned while looking into Mariah's incident while she was on her business trip. Mariah admitted to Tessa that she tried to suffocate the older, unidentified man, played by Michael Swan. However, what information Sharon will receive from Tessa and Daniel, and how dire the situation is unknown. Nick Newman needs to know in the meantime. Tuesday's The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, will be questioned by Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, regarding her alliance with Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn. Will Red continue to evade him, or will he get responses that are satisfactory? Nick has been frantically trying to communicate with his ex-wife, but she hasn't changed her stance one bit. Will Kane come between Phyllis and Nick's friendship bond? Nikki Newman vs. Jill Abbott, a battle of titans. When two legends like Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, and Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, cross paths, you can count on sparks flying. The October 7th episode teases a face-off years in the making, a clash rooted in history, pride, and the lingering ghost of their mutual friend and mentor, Catherine Chancellor, Gene Cooper. 4 decades, Nikki and Jill have stood on opposite sides of almost every social, moral, and corporate battle in Genoa City. Their shared respect for Catherine has always been the one sliver of common ground between them. Still, with both women carrying the weight of legacy and personal ambition, even Catherine's memory might not be enough to prevent the inevitable explosion. Jill's no-nonsense attitude and sharp tongue will collide with Nikki's refined confidence and iron will. Despite experiencing heartbreak, addiction, betrayal, and loss, neither of these women plans to back down now. But this time, their unfinished business may not simply be about personal pride, it could involve Chancellor Winters, Newman Media, or a new business deal that forces their worlds to overlap again. Will this meeting end in a screaming match, or could the two women, against all odds, call a truce? Fans of Nikki and Jill for a long time are aware that their truces never last long, but their shared love for Catherine may remind them that they are not enemies by nature. Rather, they are just two women who were shaped by the same fire. However, given how fragile alliances are in Genoa City, even a peaceful ending could be short-lived. If there's one thing history teaches us, it's that when Nikki and Jill bury the hatchet, it's only to dig it back up later. Tessa Porter's fears when love turns into worry. Across town, the air is thick with worry as Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, finds herself spiraling into concern over her wife, Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes. The two have faced numerous challenges over the years, from career struggles to family complications, but nothing has shaken their relationship quite like Mariah's recent emotional instability. In Tuesday's episode, Tessa updates Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, on what she and Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziardi, uncovered while looking into Mariah's disturbing incident during her business trip. The discovery will leave Tessa visibly shaken. The couple's foundation has already been shaken by Mariah's admission that she tried to suffocate an older man played by Michael Swan. The revelation painted a chilling picture of a woman battling inner demons far darker than anyone realized. Now, with Daniel and Tessa digging deeper, it appears there's even more to the story, possibly something criminal or psychological that ties Mariah to a trauma or a larger mystery. Tessa's fears for Mariah's safety will intensify as the truth unfolds. The worry isn't just about Mariah's mental well-being but about what she might do next. Could this incident be connected to her past kidnapping ordeal, or is it an entirely new breakdown triggered by professional pressure and emotional exhaustion? Sharon, ever the compassionate mother, will undoubtedly try to reassure Tessa, but even she may not be able to calm the singer's nerves once she hears the details. After all, Sharon knows better than anyone how dangerous suppressed trauma can become. This storyline adds an emotional depth to Tessa and Mariah's arc, reminding viewers that love isn't just about romance, but endurance, empathy, and standing strong when the person you love begins to crumble. Nick Newman demands answers from Phyllis Summers. Meanwhile, Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, in typical Newman fashion, is on a quest for the truth and is refusing to take no for an answer. Tuesday's episode finds Nick confronting his fiery ex-wife, Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, about her increasingly suspicious alliance with Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn. Nick has always been protective of Phyllis, even when their relationship was at its messiest. There's a bond between them that transcends romance, one built on shared history, co-parenting, and the countless times they've pulled each other back from the edge. But lately, Phyllis's choices have left Nick baffled. Her new partnership with Kane seems shady, and Nick's instincts are rarely wrong when it comes to trouble. Expect verbal fireworks when Nick confronts Phyllis. Phyllis, never one to bow to pressure, will likely respond with her trademark wit and sarcasm, dodging his questions with half-truths and fiery deflections. Yet beneath her sharp exterior, Phyllis may be hiding something big, something that could drag her deeper into Kane's schemes and further strain her already fragile relationships. Nick's concern isn't just about business, it's about Phyllis herself. He's watched her self-destruct before, and he fears she's doing it again. But Phyllis hates being told what to do, especially by an ex. The tension between them will feel like old times, a mix of anger, nostalgia, and unspoken affection. And then there's Kane, a wild card with his own agenda. Could he be manipulating Phyllis for personal gain? If so, Nick's intervention might come too late. Kane's history with deception makes him one of Genoa City's most unpredictable figures, and his involvement with Phyllis could blow up spectacularly. This confrontation might also reopen old wounds between Nick and Phyllis. Nick still cares about her in part despite everything, and that emotional connection could make things even more complicated. The underlying theme, trust, legacy, and reckoning. Each of these storylines, Nikki versus Jill, Tessa's fears, Nick's confrontation, reflects the young and the restless central theme, the struggle between the past and the present. Every character is haunted by history, wrestling with choices that refuse to stay buried. Nikki and Jill's feud represents the weight of legacy, the constant pull between respect for the past and the need to assert dominance in the present. Both women have carved empires out of pain and perseverance, and their every encounter serves as a reminder that in Genoa City, power never comes without sacrifice. Tessa's anxiety captures the fear of losing the person you love most. Her relationship with Mariah has always been grounded in loyalty, but loyalty is tested most when danger rears its head. As Tessa's world becomes consumed by fear, she may begin to question whether love alone can save someone from their inner chaos. And Nick's desperate need for answers reveals the eternal Newman flaw, the desire to control the uncontrollable. Whether it's Victor, Adam, or Nick himself, the Newman men have always tried to fix the women they love, often making things worse in the process. It's possible that Nick's confrontation with Phyllis won't save her. Rather, it may drive her even further away.